Don't go to church and not have fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The Lord said, I want you to go to the Philippines for a crusade. I thought he meant crusade like soccer stadium. He meant crusade like Indiana Jones. They flew me out in a helicopter, landed the helicopter. I'm going to be there 14 days and 14 nights. Helicopter flies off. I'm looking around. I see something over there. It's 3 missionaries they've hacked and dismembered. I look over there and there's a guy that slit his throat. He's blown up like a dead cow in the bar ditch. And the helicopter's gone. Won't be back for 14 days. And I go, God, you tricked me. He said, yep, you wouldn't have come any other way. I stayed there 14 days in the middle of a civil war. Yeah. See, either God's who he says he is or it's all a big joke. I stayed in a hut.
That's just a movie in and of itself.
Yeah. I stayed in a hut with a guy that had a piece of ear and a piece of finger in a sack of oil around his neck. He was crazy as a bedbug, an insane killer. And he's living down there with pigs. And the Lord said to me, don't worry about him. I crawl up in there and go to sleep and slept like a baby. Only light in there was a coffee can with some oil in it and a rag. And so I said to myself, well, I'll have to stay awake. Or this guy will have my ear and a finger, you'll have a necklace this big. Anyway, and the Lord came to me and said, you're going to stay awake 14 days and 14 nights? And almost laughed at me. I said, no, I don't guess I will. And went, and blew the light out. And demons were so much whirling, it sounded like an attic fan. And I slept like a baby.
Wow.
See, he's either who he says he is or this whole thing's a joke.
That's right. See,
Psalms 27 verse 1 says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies, come up to eat up my flesh, they stumble and fall. See, if you know who he is, you'll know who you are. And none of the circumstances can thwart that away.
That's so good.
So I slept like a baby.
That's so good.
I wouldn't want to go back, but
yeah,
it's crazy. Man, they they jumped out and I went into a cave. So this is all true. Don't lie in church. I went in, the guy stopped us, rammed an AK-47 in my back going, and just sort of like that. I said to the interpreter, I said, what does he want? He said, he wants us to follow him. I go, we're following him. And we went in a hole in the wall in a cave, and they had ground air missiles like you shoot down planes. It's crazy. And it's full of old men squatted like this, and this guy's talking. It's very, very, very mad. And I said, what is it he wants? He said, he wants you to give the message in here that you're giving out there that causes people's face to light up.
Wow.
I go, whoo, I can do that.
Wow.
So that's how I got out of the deal there.
Wow.
Better drink this.
So you just run.
Yeah.
Indiana Bobby.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's the absolute truth. God raised the dead. I've got slides. We might could give that to, let you put that on media somehow.
Yeah.
It's them slides they used to take with them, where it had a carousel.
You got a lot of them?
Yeah. We got this guy that God raised his baby, a dead baby, and I come back down a volcano trail, and he's beating himself in the chest, jumping up and down like a monkey, and because I'd prayed for his baby and it was still dead, and the Lord raised him up, and I'm coming back down the volcano trail, and he comes back and there's a little baby, and so he dams up the volcano trail, and I baptize him. Because God raised his baby from the dead.
That's incredible.
That's over there. It was.
Have you ever done the math to actually figure out like how many people you've seen raised from the dead?
Oh, not really. I'll tell you one group I didn't see raised from the dead that God would have raised from the dead, but he said if you do it, it'll be the worst thing that ever happened to Bulgaria.
Really?
Yeah. I went to Bulgaria right after the communist walls fell down, and I went into a trance before I went, and I saw 5 sheets laid on the side of the road with blood, and they were covered up. And he said, if you raise them from the dead, the people will be so immature they can't separate you from me.
Wow.
And he said it'll be the worst thing ever happened for Bulgaria. And I thought to myself, oh yeah. But we're going through some windy roads, and a bus had rolled down the thing, and I saw exactly in the real what I saw in the trance. I looked, and there's 5 sheets laid on the side of the road, and the Lord said, you can raise them, but the people are so immature they won't be able to separate you from me.
Wow.
And we had to drive on.
Wow.
But boy, we saw miracles happen like you couldn't imagine.